y'all? Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Happy hump day, y'all. We almost to the weekend. We is this close, y'all. We this close. We almost to the weekend. While you here, you know what I'm going to say. Go ahead and show your girl some love by liking the video and hitting subscribe if you are feeling the vibe, okay? Those interested in my personal channel, you know I've been posting the remote work. I post usually around 12 to 13 jobs per week. And I just posted today some very well-known companies with great benefits, 5 jobs that are hiring. So if you're looking for remote work and you know someone looking for remote work, go ahead and head over to my personal channel. And then I also have Storytime, Life After Divorce, vlogs, etc. All that is on my personal channel. And I told y'all that I'm going to be moving. It's literally going to be next week. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to be vlogging that process as well. So that will be linked in the comments below. Okay, y'all. So today's video, we are going to, y'all know who have been following me for a while. Y'all know I am very passionate about spirituality and your spiritual journey and healing, etc. That is me all day. Okay. So I like to talk about topics in relation to that. Okay. So we're going to be talking about a lot of the trauma that mamas be causing their daughters. Okay, so I'm going to let y'all listen to some content creators, and then we're going to have a very well needed conversation and discussion about this. So without further ado, go ahead and watch the content creators, and I will be back.
Let's get ready for the day and talk about how I first learned when my mom hated me. So when I was in 5th grade, my mom was probably at like the peak of her mental health struggles. Fast forward to today, she is undiagnosed, but schizophrenic. Her brother is schizophrenic, diagnosed, and my mom is just, she's there. However, nothing's wrong with her, right? So she won't get a diagnosis. I haven't spoken to her in almost 3 years also. So I was in 5th grade. I was 10 years old. My stepdad at the time was working out of town, like 10 hours away on the oil fields. And my mom lived in her bedroom. I only saw her when she came out to like eat or whatever. I rode the bus to school. I got myself to school and home from school every day. You know, that was it. I basically lived alone in the scheme of things. So anyways, I was home after school one day, sitting at the counter, and I was reading my book for reading hours. And she stood across the counter from me, and she was just going through a really hard time. I, at the time, was 10 years old. I was not equipped to handle this, but I did. And she told me, that if I didn't love her like I was supposed to, then she should just end herself. And then she locked herself in the bedroom with a .357 Magnum. Again, 10 years old, home alone with her. My stepdad's out of town for weeks and weeks at a time. No cell phone, I was 10. So terrified. The next day I went to school. A lot of people at school knew about my mom. The aide on the playground knew about my mom. And so she was like, come to my house after school. We will call the police and I'll try to help you. Because it had just gotten out of hand. And so I did. I rode my bike. Instead of going home, I decided to go to the aide's house. She wasn't home, so I ended up having to hang around and wait. By this point, it had been a while, and so my mom decided to call the police saying that I was missing because I hadn't come home yet. Anyway, they end up doing a paper trail to all my friends' houses, and eventually a friend was like, oh, she's going here. Lo and behold, here come the police, okay? They pick me up. I'm in the back of the car, and he's like, do you want to tell me what happened? And so I tell him, and he goes, you can't be lying about those kind of things. These are really serious matters, and you just can't be lying about them. And I remember looking out the window as a 10-year-old and being like, wow, I'm really stuck in this. I have no way out. No one's going to believe me. Pause, baby crying. So, 10 years old, looking out the window on my way to my house in the back of a cop car, like a criminal, feeling like, okay, that was a fail and I'm just stuck like this forever. And you know, I told him like my side, right? And then he's like, you can't be lying about that. And I was just like, I didn't even know what to say. Like, I just didn't know what to say. At that point, I felt stupid and I felt like so scared, and just kind of pissed off and angry because I was like, I'm never going to get like an adult to believe me. You know, at this point now, because now there's like a police paper trail. So I get home and my mom comes out on the porch hysterically, like crying. Mind you, I know when she's crying. Okay, this was so fake. Crying, like, oh my God, you found her. Thank you so much. Okay. Officer says, you're welcome, leaves the house. We get inside. Mom cuts the tears. She starts, you know, laughing at me, blah, blah, blah. You thought you were going to get away with this, blah, 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 blah. My punishment then was she went into my bedroom with a garbage bag and she took away every single outfit that I owned, minus a pair of underwear, a pair of blue corduroy pants that were disgusting and I never wore them, and a bright red sweatshirt from 3 years prior, didn't even really fit me anymore, and a pair of pajamas. And she said, this is what you get to wear to school now for the rest of the year. You can take your pick on what you want to wear each day, either the ugly outfit or your pajamas. And my one pair of underwear and my one pair of black sneakers. And she's like, and if it's dirty, you wash it, blah, blah, blah. Horrible. Worst time of my life. And then another on top of that, write me 10,000 sentences about what you did wrong. I was 10 years old and this was just the first time. I'm almost 30 now. And she has shown me in many, many, many other ways why she hates me. I've actually just started therapy this year, to just like heal from a lifetime of her. I raised 3 children without a mom in my life, and a lot of people don't know what that feels like, but a lot of people do. So I plan to actually talk about some other forms of abuse that my mom did without beating me, you know, because emotional and mental abuse is just as detrimental to your body and your brain and your chemistry. And it has like completely and utterly changed my life in a negative way, and it's taken me still years and years to heal from it and talk about it, because for so long I thought that I was like exaggerating, and I mean like the gaslighting was insane. So if you're also doing life without your mom because you have to, because it's safer for you to not speak to her, and you had to make that choice, I feel for you and I see you, and you're doing so good. Like, it takes an actual superhero to continue to live life and like thrive in life and choose to thrive in life after a lifetime of abuse from your mother. Your mother. Like, as a child, I forgive her. As a mom and a parent, I could never. And that's why I will never speak to her again until she like gets help and admits to all of these things that I totally imagined. You know, everything that I have to say, that's not how it really happened, right? The gaslighting is bonkers. So as soon as I became a mom myself, I just kind of finally like looked in the mirror and I was like, you don't have to put up with this. Like, what are we doing? Blocked. So I see you. I feel you. You're doing amazing. And we are so much better than them. Love you. Bye.
I had to cut off my narcissistic mom. Yep. The breaking point was literally the hurricane that just happened in Houston. To give y'all context, I live 20 minutes away from her. I live in the inner city of Houston, and she lives a little bit closer to Katy, which is about 20-30 minute drive, whatever, cool. The day the hurricane came, I didn't have power or water. She didn't have power or water. I literally, mind you, I also own a beauty supply store. Okay. One last factor I really need to put in there. My mom is a Pentecostal. Okay. She has so many supplies like the world's about to end. Like if you go into her house, she has 8 cases of 40 packs of water, battery operated fans, this, and that. If there was an apocalypse, you would think she would be ready. Okay? She's a 60-year-old woman. Also, she is disabled. She's disabled, okay? Her knees are bone to bone, but she actively picks and chooses when she's as disabled as she claims. Like some days she don't need nobody, and then other days she's like, oh, you just don't care about me. Okay, cool. So I finally get service like around 12 p.m. and call my mom. It's like, are you okay? Yada 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 whoop. We're just like, she's like, girl, yeah, I'm okay. I just don't got power or water. And I was like, oh yeah, me too, whatever. And she's like, yeah, just call me, like, just like emergency calls, like save our battery and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, bet. Oh, and then we hung up the phone. So I was like, check my mom's fine, right? My next thing I needed to check on was my store. Mind you, my store was damaged. It's handled now, but like roof caved in, all that in the 9 yards. That same night, I ended up staying like an hour at my friend's Airbnb because she had like water and power, but we had to go up 3 flights of stairs to get to the Airbnb. Like, so my mom couldn't even come there for refuge, even if she wanted to, because she can't go upstairs. Cool. Anyways, I did that, showered, charged up our phones, we went back home. Next day, I've called my mom again to just, we're checking up on people and whatever. She has an attitude now. Don't worry about me. Just worry about you. Worry about what you got going on. You just don't care about me. I was like, okay. Click. Because what we're not about to do is have an attitude, right? Anyways, then my family started calling me like, why did you abandon your mom? Why aren't you checking up on your mom? Why aren't you? Mind you, if you saw the videos from the hurricane and where she lives, it was so flooded. There's no way I was going 20 minutes out that way, okay? And like we're in the same predicament. Why was I driving over there to just be in the same predicament? Okay? You were fine. Anyways, the next day after that, my mom likes to do this thing where she likes to be fake mature and have conversations like she's trying to understand where I'm coming from and why I have to act the way I act and have boundaries. So while I'm getting groceries, she calls me and she's just like, Jessica, what did I do so wrong to you that you don't want to check up on your mother and make sure that she's fine and she's okay? And basically I broke it down to her the same way I'm breaking it down to you guys. Like, hey, like I called you here, you said you were fine, like this. And then I also added on the fact that like I was dealing with the store. She said, I don't give an F about your store. We're talking about life or death here. Girl, you just said you were fine. And she's like, my coworkers are checking on me. They said, I'll send an Uber for you. I'll do this. I'm like, okay, but like, didn't we decide like we don't need to use our phones that much? So you just want me to stay on the phone with you all day and check with you? Like, I just don't know what you were looking for. Did you want me to bring you food? What do you want from me? Instead of communicating like what you expected me to do, you're getting mad at me about what I didn't do. Anyways, besides the point, it just escalated to the point where I was crying. I was really upset. I could tell she was just trying to like yell at me, ridicule me versus actually listen to me. Mind you, this is very normal behavior for me. So I just hung up. And when you hang up on my mom, she loses it, okay? I always feel like the worst person in the world when she always like makes me feel like I'm being the worst daughter in the world. Like, I really start to think that maybe I'm just a terrible person. I start to overanalyze the situation, and I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore, because I know with my mom it's a cycle, okay? And the cycle is that I basically have to like back down, do whatever she wants in that moment, and then she'll be fine. But like the cycle literally messes with my mental so bad that I literally want no part. So I decided in that moment, I don't even want to talk to you no more. But it got worse. Because every Sunday, me and my boyfriend go to her crib to take out her trash, to get her mail, and whatever. So my boyfriend thought it was a smart idea to send this new credit card that I just got to her house. Mind you, I still have a key to the place because I was just living there like a year ago. Anyway, she decided to block me after I hung up on her, so I had to text her from my boyfriend's phone saying like, hey, I need to go get my credit card. After that, I'll kind of be out your hair. After that, she kind of like was being mean to my boyfriend, whatever, so I just decided to go there myself and get it. Mind you, she never checks her mail. So I finally get to the mail, and the mail's gone. She never gets her mail. Like I said, she picks and chooses when she wants to be disabled because she doesn't want to walk to get her mail. She was petty enough to go get the mail, take my credit card, and return to sender. Mind you, I had so much going on at that moment. I really needed that credit card. And then when I like *67 and called her directly from our phone, I was like, I'm in the crib. Where did you put the credit card? Now she's threatening to call the police, threatening me, saying that she gonna do XYZ to me and whatever if I don't get out her house when she has my credit card. That's when I really, really decided you'll never, ever, ever see me ever again. And I don't know, am I wrong? Should I just continue the cycle? Everyone always says, like, you only have one mother. I wish I could talk to my mother again. But, like, what about my mental? What about, like, how I feel? Because, honestly, like, when she's good, she's so good. Like, top tier and stuff like that. But when it's bad, like, I've literally almost wanted to just not be on this earth no more because the way she acts.
As a child, I had decided that one of the reasons that my mother was so hateful towards me was because she hated my father. I do look like him. I do favor that side of my family in mannerisms, the way that I speak. My father has passed away quite a long time ago. In looking back, though, that's all I was doing, attaching myself to that, trying to make it make sense, that it wasn't maybe just that I was bad. It took a long time to figure out that they were all my mother's issues, that mothers don't treat their children this way. And it was actually never about my father. And I have proof of that. My brother looks like my mother. His mannerisms are like hers. She didn't hate his father. He had a different father. Yet he was also emotionally brutalized just the way I was.
All my girls who have strained relationships with their mother or no relationship with their mother or your mother don't like you, when was the moment that it really, really kicked in and really hit you that your mama don't like you? For me, I think I was around 27, 28. When I got married, I had my 2 sons and we had just purchased our first house. I was stable. Everything that I was supposed to have did, I did. Even though I had did all the other shit that I wasn't supposed to do between the ages of 14 and 27 because I moved out at 15 or whatever because of our relationship being bad. But it was always like, it just wasn't clicking that she really didn't like me. I felt like it's because, she was wrong and she was cheating and I was holding her accountable and that's why she was mad at me. But it was like when I was 27, 28 and we was talking, we wasn't beefed out or nothing. And I would realize that she wouldn't pick up the phone and call me. She never called me. We were not talking if I didn't pick up the phone and call her. And if I called her, she'd talk to me. But she was never gonna come to my house and visit. She never picked up the phone. So I said, let me just wait and see how long. Months will go by and she won't pick up she's 2 miles away. She never picked up the phone. How you doing? How you been? What's going on with your life? That's when it really clicked. This one, they don't like me. Like keep in mind, I'm an only child. Like she didn't give a about my well-being if I was okay. She knew I was in the house getting my ass beat black and blue, unrecognizable. And she knew it. She never asked how I was. She never called, how you doing? I love you. I'm thinking of you. You want to go to lunch? Never. I've never had that kind of relationship with my mother. But y'all tell me when y'all realized it.
So here's a story time about accepting the fact that my mom literally hates me. And I'm not being dramatic, and I'm not making things up, and I'm not trying to manipulate the situations that have happened to me like throughout the course of my life, but just coming to a realization like during my course of healing, have I realized that I have a mom who truly hates me, and I accept it. I'm not sure if I should get in like deeply on like how I was raised, but I have three sisters, and I'm the middle child, and my baby sister is adopted. But it's just, I don't even know where to start. It's just like so much has transpired, like just like over the course of, let's just say, over the time that I got married and became a mom, that I really started noticing the disdain that my mother had towards me. And at first I would like brush it off, or be like, oh, like that's just my mom, or like that's just like her attitude. She got a bad attitude, but it's it's beyond like a bad attitude and her just being her. Like, yeah, you have to accept people for who they are, but you also have to see, like, when people notice, like when you notice how people treat you, you have to know, like, that's how they like really feel about you and everything. And like through the manipulation and through my mother has never apologized for anything that she's ever done. Anything. My 37 years here on this earth, she has never apologized for nothing that she's done. From kicking me out at 12, from beating me up at 16, for not showing up at none of my children's births, for making me feel bad for being a mom, she didn't even want to come to my college graduation. When I asked her why she didn't come, like why she didn't want to come, because she came, but she only came because her husband was coming. She didn't want to come, and when I told her like that my graduation was on my first year wedding anniversary, and I thought that was dope, she told me, and her answer was, nobody asked you to graduate. So it's just like little comments like that I've experienced like throughout my life. Like if I go on and on, this would be as long as Tessa's story was. And I ain't trying to go all that deep into it. It's just me as a grown woman and standing strong in who I am and accepting people for who they are and meeting them where they at, and also leaving them where they stay when they don't accept my boundaries and feel like they can cross my boundaries because they're my mom or because they're family, and you cannot. I'm not having it. I've worked too hard to heal from where I was deep in depression for the last 4 years to have anyone think that they can dance over my boundaries and then disrespect me in my face and then think that I'm supposed to just like accept it. Let me get into the story. So she's in like this dysfunctional marriage, and I feel like she wants to use me as a punching bag, and I can't stomach that. I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain exactly what's going on. And again, it's probably because I'm dancing on not hurting her feelings, even though I shouldn't even care because she doesn't care about my feelings. But I'm still trying to protect her in a weird way. I got to talk to my therapist about that because I shouldn't be doing that. And I know it. But I don't even know how to put in words like the disrespect and like how she really goes about things and like the manipulation. Like she'll like really bulk up to like try to fight me because she's wrong, and I just be looking at her like, and then it pisses her off when I'm talking in this tone, like, because why are you getting upset? I'm not going to hit you. You're my mom. But I'm still not going to allow the disrespect either. I know I have to tell y'all something about the disrespect. I'm just really trying to put it in words because I can't believe that, like, I even have to express this about it, but this is, like, truly, like, our relationship. And, you know, sometimes a lot of women, like, I'm not even going to say a lot of women. I'm just going to speak on, like, me. The relationship that I want with my mom is why I continuously extend grace, because I feel like the relationship I have with my daughter is the relationship that I want with my mom. Hold on. It's like, as a kid, I would I would want and I would crave, like, to hear my mom say things like, I'm proud of you, or like, I love you, or just show something. Like, damn, I came from you. Like, you created me, no? Like, to be a mother and to give, like, a mother's love to, like, your children, like, it's something that I've always wanted, and I do it every day of my children, but I don't know what a mother's love feels like, if that makes sense. Like, I overly love my children, like, overly. And, like, they'll get in trouble if we get off the phone and they don't say, like, I love you back. They're in trouble, like, because I'm calling them back immediately, like, hello, I know I said I love you, but my kids mostly say I love you back unless they're, like, rushing off with their friends. But you know what I'm trying, like, you understand what I'm saying. At 37, my mother has never said, I love you. She has never said, I'm proud of you. Like, all I get is hate. Like, hate. Prime example, like, she knows that I was using her car to take my kids back and forth to school because I was in a bad car accident in July and I need to get a new car. So I was using her car to transport my kids back and forth to school and to take my younger sister to work and bring her back as well. And she got mad at me because she decided to go shopping and my little sister had to be to work in less than an hour. And when I called her and I'm like, yo, she got to be to work in like 30 minutes and you're in someone's dressing room trying on clothes. So she came back and literally took her car keys from me. So now, how am I supposed to get my kids to school? I mean, I can use my husband's car, but now that just means, like, when he goes to work, I got to take him to, like, now we're, like, because I'm going to make it work. Like, we're going to make it work. My family, my little tribe, my legacy, we're going to make it work every time. But it's the inconvenience of her because she thinks she's hurting me by taking her car from me, but she's not hurting me. She's hurting her grandchildren, and she doesn't care because in her eyes, she's always going to win. She's like, and that's her problem. Like, she always wants to win because she always wants to feel needed, and she always wants to feel like she's in control and that she's in charge of everyone's lives. And how could you want to be, and you are the person that you are? Like, you're not a good person, and then you feel like you always wish bad on other people, talking about people do you so wrong, but they treat you how you treat them, and that's the part that you hate to admit because you are not a good person. You don't do nothing good. You talk about people and then feel like because you buy them gifts that it's okay to talk about them, and you can't do that. Like, you can't talk about people and disrespect people and then go buy them a Chanel bag and be like, oh, everything's okay because I bought you a Chanel bag. Absolutely not. Come back for part 2. So this is, I guess I'll start with when she fought me when I was 16. I'm not going to say she beat me up, but she definitely fought me. And again, remember I just told you in part 1 that she has this thing where she has to, like, choose. She's always chose men over us, like, in every aspect of our lives. Like, literally, she missed my baptism at 13 because she wanted to go to the bike fest with her boyfriend. So she missed my baptism. Yes, my mother missed my baptism at 13, but that's another story. here's the story when she fought me at 16. So I asked her if I could go outside to hang out with my friends, but I was really going to my boyfriend's house, who's now my husband. Anyway, so I asked her if I could go outside, and she was like, her boyfriend was over, and they was in her room, and I knocked on her door, and I was like, Mom, can I go outside? And she was like, oh, put your sister to sleep first. My baby sister was like maybe 2 or 3 at the time, and she was like, put her to sleep first, and then you could go outside. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I grabbed my little sister, I put her across my lap, I put the TV on, and I braided her hair. As I was braiding my little sister's hair, she fell asleep. So I put her on my bed, and I left my room door cracked, and I knocked on my mother's room door, which was now closed, because you know what she was doing, nasty. Anyway, I knocked on her door, and I was like, Ma, I'm leaving. She's asleep. And she said, okay. And I left. So I'm outside, I'm chilling, having the time of my life. But, like, and I got a feeling, like, in the pit of my stomach that, like, something was off. Like, something was, like, really wrong. And I ignored it, but I just, like, kept having fun. Because, again, I'm 16, I'm outside, I'm at my boyfriend's house, I'm chilling, eating Chinese food, watching movies. You know, I was a good girl. So, you know, I'm having fun, and I believe, if I remember correctly, I even think that my boyfriend was sick, too. Like, he wasn't feeling too good, because he was, like, we was outside for a little bit, but then when we went to his house, like, he was, like, in the bed. Like, he wasn't feeling good. And I kept saying, like, damn, like, something don't feel right. So I was like, I'm going to leave. I was like, I'm going to go home. And I don't know what it was, but it was God. I'm going to say it was God. And as I'm walking, like, out of my boyfriend's, like, bedroom, and then, like, I'm, like, in the middle of his living room, like, his brother, like, opened the door, and I heard my mother's voice. And I'm like, she don't know where my boyfriend lives. Like, how she get here? So I'm like, Ma. And my mother just punched me in my face. Then she pulled me by my hair, like she did like one of these numbers, like and then like wrapped my hair around her hand and like pulled me down to the floor. And then she punched me in my face, and then she dragged me out of my boyfriend's house, from his living room through his kitchen, and then like once we got in the hallway, like she like loosened up her grip, and when she loosened up her grip, I pushed her and I ran down the stairs. And my boyfriend lives like on the top floor. There was a lot of stairs in that building, and I ran down the stairs. And when I got outside his building, this is another story about how my family ain't either. But yeah, my cousins, my supposedly best cousins, best friends, they told my mom where my boyfriend lived at, and then proceeded to show her the building and the bell. Proceeded to show her which apartment he lived in also. Yeah, my cousins, why they talk about cousins as best friends. Yeah, not my bitch, not those. Anyway, so she knew she found out where he lived through them, and she embarrassed me. I've never been so embarrassed in my life. And I wasn't even thinking about, like, what he cared about, like, at that moment. I was just like, damn, I can't believe that, like, my mom, like, really just hit me in front of him. Like, damn, no chill button, no nothing. Just completely, like, you could have been like, you're in trouble. No, she completely embarrassed me, demolished me right there in his living room. And when I got, like, my grandmother used to live, like, around the corner from him. When I went around the corner, my grandmother was, like, sitting on her steps, and I told her, like, what my mother had just did. I was crying and shit, and I think she had busted my lip, too. And my mother came around the corner and was like, oh, you left her in the house to go lay up with some boy. And I was like, first, I wasn't even laid up, and you was in the house when I left. She went to her boyfriend's car and proceeded to throw my clothes and my book bag and my cheerleading stuff and my softball stuff all out into the street. And it was in, like, contractor bags. And she threw my in the street out of her boyfriend's truck. And I even said to her boyfriend, I was like, yo, Chris, like, y'all was in the house when I left. Were y'all not? And he was like, yeah, I told Roz that we was there. She didn't care. She didn't care, because in her eyes, remember, she can't never be wrong. So she, like, none of that, as a grown up, it registered to her, but she just didn't give like because she just wanted to be right, and she was only upset because I guess when she came back from hanging out with her, like I guess they left after I left, and they wound up leaving my little sister in the house by herself, and how we all found out was my oldest sister was outside like chilling in our neighborhood, and somebody went and told her like, yo, we hear crying in your apartment, and she went home, and my little sister was standing in the middle of the hallway, she said, like crying, and she called my mom and asked my mom like, you know, like where she was at, because my baby sister was in the house by herself crying. And my mother immediately went to where she thought I would be at outside, and when she didn't see me where I was at, she went to my cousins, and my cousins told her where my boyfriend lived, and then showed her where he lived as well. And yeah, that's pretty much how that happened. So she embarrassed the out of me. She was dead wrong. To this day, she will admit the fact that yeah, she heard her boyfriend say that, but she's not gonna apologize for doing it, and she thinks that is funny. But needless to say, I mean, that boyfriend is now my husband, and you know, that just showed him like a piece of like how I was growing up. And I don't know if that made him ever feel sorry for me, because we never spoke about it. But I know like when I bring it up, like his facial expression like says it all. And then like even like in that moment, like when I got up and before I ran out, like the look on his face, it wasn't like funny to him. Like he ain't laugh about it, or like he ain't hate me about it. He ain't make fun of me. It was just on some like, damn, shorty, like I feel bad for you type shit.
Okay, so now that y'all seen the stories, let's have a conversation in regards to this. And this is going to be a deep conversation, okay? So trigger warning, it's going to be a deep conversation, okay? Just some disclosures out there before I even get into talking about like some single moms. Realize that I was a single mom. If you have not seen my divorce story, it is on my channel. You will see all the trauma that not only I had to deal with, but my oldest daughter had to deal with as well. So this is coming from a place of love and healing and peace. And anybody who's followed me known that I'm a very spiritual person. That is like my first passion is spirituality. So that's where this is coming from. I only use YouTube and content to preach things that I feel like I'm called to do. Okay. So, you know, I'm going to start with the last story. With the last story, baby, you reminded her of her own failures in life. That's plain and simple. You reminded her of her own failures in life. Places that you went, she never got to go. And if I'm looking down, y'all know I got my notes on my phone, okay? Places that you went, she never got to go, and you constantly remind her of that. You know, that's why she didn't want to go to your graduation, really. And you have a happy, healthy marriage. She described her mother's marriage as something that was, you know, toxic. So you're just reminding her that she made poor choices and bad choices, and you're reminding her that you have enough self-worth and love about yourself to attract a healthy relationship and to attract healthy, good things in your life, like graduating, that she cannot do or that she never did. So you remind her of her failure. And what's crazy about that is a lot of mothers out there like that. A lot of mothers will hate on their daughters' relationships. A lot of mothers will talk down and bully their daughters on their looks and everything else. Like, they are a big op. Okay, it's crazy how your mother can be your biggest enemy. Like, that is sick. Me as a mother, I want my children to do better than me. I won't feel any kind of way. I want you to do better than me. And I want to inspire you to make better choices that I made. Okay. I hope that they attract healthy relationships in their life. I hope that I can teach them enough to have successful lives, like in happy lives, and not have to deal with trauma and certain things that I had to deal with. I pray and hope. That's all I can do. And that's why I know I have to put make my relationship with my children God-centered, because I need to know, like, am I doing something wrong? Am I saying things wrong? What do I need to work on? Because we're not perfect. We're still humans. Okay. So it's really sad that your mama can be your biggest hater. Okay. Now I have a education. My background degree is in psychology, y'all. I used to work in a youth facility with troubled teens. I worked in with the young females who had trauma. Some of them self-harm. Some of them had a lot of abuse happen to them. Some of them were sick, angry, so they fought a lot. Like, I worked with them, read their charts, okay? I had to do case studies when I got my degree to look into the single parent dynamic. I also wrote a book for fatherless daughters because that's another passion topic of mine. I am a fatherless daughter. I raised and still raising daughters who are fatherless from their biological father. So I had to deal with some trauma with that, which things are a lot better now. Like my journey is on my personal channel with a lot of updates in my life, etc. But I'm just saying, like, I had to deal with that for a couple of years, and I had to get my oldest in counseling. And then I grew up without my father. I dealt with a lot of trauma. So I'm very passionate about that topic because I feel like it's a topic that a lot of people don't talk about enough, is the real trauma of fatherless daughters and how we need to do better with that. Okay. So with that being said, I wrote a book for fatherless daughters, and I had to interview people, and I just used my education, experience, etc. to write a book. And I wrote about the 3 type of single mothers who are low vibrational. Now keep in mind, I said low vibrational. Not every single mother is like this. These are women who have not healed, who are not self-aware, and who are low vibrational. Okay. I'm not talking about the mothers who have done therapy, inner work, spiritual work, who are aware of who they need to be as not only a woman, but a mother. Y'all are on this side. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the low vibrational ones. Okay. And they typically fall into 3 different categories. Okay. So the first type of woman, and they're all feeling a void. Keep in mind, they are all feeling a void. A lot of times this comes from their trauma of being a fatherless daughter. Usually this is a generational cycle thing of like fatherless homes. Okay. And you have to realize when you are created, it's a spiritual thing. It's a DNA thing. You have half of you with the DNA of your mother and the other half of the father. It's natural for you or your child to cling for that other half of them. They're seeing one half of them in the household. They're not seeing the other half of them. So I hate mothers who try to like force their children to like hate the other parent or whatever, because it's like, that's their other DNA running in their blood. It's natural for them to crave that other half of them. And we have to remember that as mothers. It's okay. We just talk through those situations, get them in therapy. Okay. But again, and I have a whole series on that. I have a whole playlist on this channel. Go to my playlist called Fatherless Daughters. It's in 3 different parts. Okay. So anyways, with that being said, they fall into 3 different categories. The first one is the independent woman. See, she fills the void that she has in her life with work. So this type of woman you'll see is usually a feminist. They usually hate the man. Like, oh, you know, they're all this way, they're that way. I'm an independent woman. I don't need him. Da, da, da. So she basically has her whole life of proving that she doesn't need a man. So you'll see her working 3 or 4 jobs. You'll see her working 2 jobs in a business, keep going to school to get more and more degrees, etc. She's filling that void with convincing herself that the more money she makes, the more education she has. She's filling that void in her heart. A lot of times these women, they are mad at their father. Sometimes, okay, they be mad at their father secretly, and they don't know where that hate is coming from for men. And they might have been upset at the children's father, what they done to them, and they try to prove to them as well, like, you know, I don't need you, we don't need you, blah blah blah. That's the first kind of woman. Okay. The second kind of woman is the broken woman. Okay. The broken woman is the one who fills that void with sex and relationships. This kind of woman is really sad because she does not see her value. She does not see her self-worth. She is more focused on filling that void with relationships. She doesn't feel good enough by herself. Her children doesn't complete her. She doesn't complete her. Matter of fact, the last story when she was like, she put men over us. That's what this kind of woman is. They put men over their children. They put relationships over their children because they can't be by themselves. Like, they don't even like to look at themselves. They have a lot of hurt there. They have a lot of abandonment there. They don't want to be alone. Okay. So instead of getting help, they just jump from relationship to relationship. This is the type of woman to where you'll see her post on Facebook with her man, and then 6 months later, she'd be posted with another man. And then 6 months later, she'd post with another man. She just can't be by herself. She also might have multiple children by multiple baby daddies. Okay. The last woman is the lost woman. Now, the only difference between this woman and the broken woman, is that this woman fills her void with substances. So these are the worst kind of mothers because they don't even be in their right minds all the way. So these kind of women will do all kind of substances, all kind of alcohol, all kind of stuff to fill the void and pain in their heart of the abandonment they went through, the trauma they went through. And these mothers are the most at risk for certain things happening to their children. Okay, a lot of those charts that I read in the youth center was from mothers who were under substances. It's because they are so messed up in the head, they don't like to face reality. So they rather use a substance to face reality. Okay. And what they do is they'll use those substances to help face reality. And they be so gone that they don't even realize their kids is being touched, their kids is being harmed, all of these things are happening under their watch. They didn't let any and everyone into their homes, they men and all that into their homes, and they be touching their kids. They be doing all of that. You know, they are the most at risk. Actually, the last two mothers are the mothers who are at risk the most, because they just need to fulfill their own selfish needs. So they let low. So what did I tell y'all before on my channel? When you are low vibrational, you attract low vibrational people. So if you are in a low vibrational state, you're going to be attracting men who are also in that low vibrational state. And these are the men y'all are bringing around your children. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. So, you know, it's just nice to have these conversations and talk about this, because this is a real thing. This really is what happens. And we need to do better. We have to do better. Okay. And to the second girl who was like, you know, I don't know whether to deal with her or not. You know, people are saying that's still my mama. Girl, respectfully, F your mama. And I mean that with everything in me, because sometimes you have to do that, and you have to set strict boundaries with people. Like me and my mom get along now that I'm older, but we've had to have those conversations. And my sister, we've had to have some very uncomfortable conversations, because I had a traumatic life growing up, and it's nothing that they done to like physically put me in harm or financially. It's more of like emotionally, internally. I was going through my own spiritual battle. Okay. And I also feel like, because I'm a black sheep, if you're going through a lot of stuff when you are younger, a lot of times you are the black sheep of the family who are supposed to break generational curses in your family. Okay, so you will go through a lot. It'd be a whole spiritual battle going on that you don't even know, because you can't see into the spiritual world. But it'd be a whole spiritual battle going on. And what is the enemy going to do? Use people who they can access. Okay, here's the thing. When you are spiritually aware, low vibrational entities can't access you like that. They can try, but they can't access you like that. You're spiritually protected. You're too evolved. You might tap into the low vibrational here and there because we're human, but you're evolved. So you might stay there for a minute, but you're not going to stay there very long. Okay. So they use people they can use, people who are on substances, people who are already low vibrational, who already have issues internally. They stick onto those people. That's why I say your spiritual health is everything. Like, people be worried about every other health, but your spiritual health. Your spiritual health is very important. Start fasting more, start meditating more, start praying more. And baby, I don't care if it's your mother, your sister, your brother, your father, your grandma, your cousin. If they are low vibrational and causing trauma in your life, cut them off. Because one thing I have realized is family is who shows up. Family is who's there. You don't got to be my blood to be my family. And I stand on that. So y'all let me know what y'all think, because cutoff game is strong around here. But y'all let me know what y'all think when it comes to this topic. Let me know if it helped you. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all on the next one.